Greetings, I am Lies.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together.
Alright.
So we have discovered another character, and I think she's gonna really be like a monster of the week kind of plot arc.
Yeah, and also again, it seems like if they're not your best friend, and even then that's questionable, if you are assigned as women, and I am a
You
woman.
are nothing but competition.
Yep. Jillian glares at me.
How do you know Alex?
What are you talking about? Who doesn't know Alex? He's a little bit slutty.
He's honestly really loud, and he's in everyone's business.
That's right. Sorry, that's really mean of me. I apologize. He's just everywhere. You know?
I mean, slut doesn't have to be offensive at all. It could just be descriptive.
Some people love to reclaim the term, and honestly, I'd like to empower that. But also, I understand some people are sensitive to it, so I'm kind of being like,
Try to be aware in both directions.
Yeah. Who doesn't know Alex?
That's not my point. Are you dating Alex?
What? No, I'm not dating anyone. My God, I keep getting harassed, and
Then why did he come up to you and kiss you like that?
Because I have a lot of boys who do that to me. What? Do not a lot of boys do that to you?
Because I think boys that like you, they just do that. They just make you kiss them. They just grab you. They just drag you around. They just hold on to you.
They ruin your clothes when they want you to do something.
That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Boys just run into your space and demand things. And isn't that just boys?
Yeah, they don't consider your feelings or your perspective at all. They make it all about them. They deny.
I mean, if
your
a boy's
experience.
interested in you, he's just going to force things on you. That's how it works.
Right.
That's romance.
Right. Absolutely.
Because you can't just be comfortable.
Right. I don't know, because I have to take it personal because it's my fault. That is very familiar sounding. Like, damn, it's not like I asked him to. And why are you angry at me? Yep.
Yes.
Like going like, wait, hang on, catch on.
Nobody's angry at you, Burn.
But that makes sense.
Are
that
you
Burn would also
Burn going?
assume
I am defensive. I will assume you will be mad at me. Well, listen, Burn. Just because you've become a popular fashion blogger, it doesn't mean that you can act like the whole world revolves around you. Okay?
What?
What
are you talking about? I was right. I'm like, now I'm also confused, going like, the whole world? I think Burn has so little control.
I like that so often, even though this character could be written differently than we've been interpreting them, so often you're able to predict exactly what they would say based on that interpretation, so it really works.
Yes.
Like, she just seems harried and overwhelmed. And one of the things I wanted to sort of earmark real quick is she really could be intended to be written as basically vapid and airheaded and makes poor choices and is just a disorganized person, and they really just think this is how men behave and that it's not inappropriate at all. That's just dudes being boys, guys being bros, that they just, when they want you, they come and get you because that's manly kind of thing.
Right.
And that you might be surprised or overwhelmed by it, but that it's not but mostly you're just kind of an airhead that doesn't really get what's happening to you. You don't understand when people are interested in you. Now, I don't like that interpretation, but I could see how it would happen and how a lot of people could go, yeah, she's just, a vapid airhead who's also self-centered, and when things are going her way, she's like, I love it, and when they're not, she freaks out.
Right? So I actually wanted to acknowledge, my friend has brought up a really good point, and I guess I don't always mention it, and my friend, I don't think always mentions it either, but it's really unfortunate the way that, romance games that are aimed at basically what I assume to be more, cis women.
A cis women audience.
Yeah, cis women audience is, the men are really kind of terrible. Genuinely, I understand the Arcana, for example, wants to be, more diverse. I really believe that they had more of that intent, but there's still, a weird level of, and we've mentioned it before, there's extreme amount of caretaking for what seems like very juvenile or very immature, basically, men that you're supposed to be romancing. And that sounds really frustrating. Now, we haven't played through all of it, but, Julian's route specifically was really disorienting for me, because I thought he would be way more capable than that. And it seemed mostly just well, he's a disaster, he's a mess, tee-hee-hee, ha-ha-ha, and you have to fix him. And that was frustrating!
Especially since, much like men in some of the other games we played, even including Lily's Garden.
Oh, God,
the men have been shown to be competent and have skills.
Yeah.
And have even certificates talents or degrees or abilities, and yet they're supposed to be an emotional, like, disaster and a social disaster.
Oh, and they just can't figure stuff out.
And in
like,
the case
ugh.
of here, even as Byrne is being mistreated and disrespected.
Oh, absolutely.
There's an experience of her caretaking for them in the sense of, like, there's a level of self-protection of, I don't want to offend you, so I'll agree with you. But there's also a level of, but your feelings are more important than my feelings, so I'm going to support what you want rather than fight back.
And also at the same time, too, just for, like, the written characters themselves, somebody wrote those guy characters, these dudes, to be like this. And I'm kind of like, these are your ideas for different, diverse, like, potentially all romantic interests, and they all are some form of abuse or manipulative
It also seems like
or...
Ben's personality has mostly disappeared. Like, he had more at the beginning, and now we barely see him at all.
Right? What are you talking about? Jillian walks away without saying another word. She leaves a lot of question in her wake.
A lot of questions.
A lot of question, which is actually like a feeling of question.
Right?
What is wrong with her? What's going on?
Huh. What's wrong with who? I love how you actually talk out loud when you talk out loud.
Right?
Like, okay, so in the way that there are things that we can dislike about a game, there's going to be things that do work well about the game. And the fact that our MC is actually talking out loud to themselves when they have the quotes around it, and that they, their friend Kayla can hear them all the time, is just like, hey, what are you actually talking about? Like, I like that touch, because a lot of games aren't very clear about whether you're thinking or thinking out loud or talking. And even if you do seem to be talking in direct quotes, no one seems to ever hear you, and it doesn't say mumbled or anything like that.
Right? Kayla's sudden appearance startles me. I point at Jillian, who disappears behind the wall.
Jillian?
Yes. Do you know her?
Uh-huh. No. All I know is that she used to be the most popular fashion blogger in all of town.
Used to.
You have
Immediate.
superseded her immediately, overnight. Man, having a rich boy with a ton of clout to professionally promote you just does a lot for you.
Ooh, is he like your Mr. Grey? Where
He's
no one
kind
else...
of your, like, promotional sugar daddy.
Ooh.
But now, that title is yours, as of yesterday.
She nudges me with her elbow and grins proudly.
I can just imagine someone else being like, a freaking deceased girl has outdone me. I am so angry.
Right?
Goddamn dead girl is more popular than I am. Modern artists shaking their fist at Van Gogh.
Hi. She seems to be happier about the success of my blog than me, which is a good character point. Her going like, I like the attention, but, like, it's so weirdly successful, I don't know what to do with it. Like, it's nice.
Additionally, Byrne didn't seem like she was ever concerned about being really successful.
I know!
Like, she wanted to do it for her.
Yeah.
And she was using it to sort of, like, practice what she was interested in later doing professionally. But, like, she seemed like she had a plan for, like, college and for, like, her life going, I want to do this, I want to be in fashion, but I don't necessarily want to be a fashion, like, blogger my entire life.
Right.
I want to go into a career in fashion in one way or another. And so this is me setting myself up and getting the practice that I'm interested in, getting my own mind where I want it to be, getting in the habit of noticing and cataloging outfits I like, that kind of thing. And then you get super popular and people are like, this is the most amazing thing ever. And you're like, this is actually just me training myself and setting myself up for what I want to do later.
Right? About my blog than me. Let's go to class.
And she really does. Kayla seems way more excited about basically
Prestige.
the meritocracy that Byrne is engaging in or being subject to than Byrne is.
Right.
Which also, again, sort of supports our narrative.
I don't feel like running when we have a test next period.
Me neither.
Uh,
Besides, we have fitness class later.
That's true.
Hi, we don't need to do our own fitness class. We have to do theirs anyway.
The algebra quiz went well, and I'm certain that I'll get a good grade.
Where are we? This is new.
Whoa, maybe I could focus because I cleared things up between me and Joey.
Good job.
I'm getting ready for the fitness class, but the weather looks like it's getting worse.
I mean, everything is a little bit grayscale, but the sky doesn't look too bad.
Right, it actually looks pretty clear.
Guess what? I just heard from Mr. Morrison that we're going to run around the whole track 4 times today.
We're gonna run a mile.
Do you know how annoying that is in jeans? And, like, with my leather jacket?
You mean run a mile?
Yeah, I know, but it's 4 times. Yeah, that was always it for me too. Even when I actually was attending elementary school, the track was a quarter mile.
Right.
If you were gonna do a mile, you go around it 4 times.
Yeah, like I think that's pretty much
fairly
every single high school.
Standard American.
Yeah. But what? I'm pretty sure it's gonna start raining any second.
Do you think in other places it's a quarter kilometer?
Maybe.
That'd be fun.
Kayla nods in agreement.
Come on. You don't want Mr. Morrison to make you run more than we already have to.
True that.
Karen, it might be about to rain, but I don't want to get punished to do more.
Yeah, right. True that.
Uh,
As soon as we reach the running track, rain starts pouring down.
oh my gosh.
Everybody complains to Mr. Morrison and asks to do the PE class in the gym. Okay, why do we call it fitness? And that's PE. That seems really strange that she'd be like, oh, I know. Because Kayla learned a cool new word, and it's been going around in her circle, like with her parents, or
The
her mom's been
fitness
saying
class,
it again. You go to fitness class, honey.
Yeah.
You have power in fitness. It's like I've seen people do that, and I myself have done it too, especially where you're like, if you feel insecure, or that basically you want to have a certain like air about you that you feel like other people do, you really do start adopting words from other people, even if it sounds ridiculously unnatural. Like, everybody calls it PE class. Why are you calling it fitness class?
Right.
Like, what?
I assume it's not quite that deep and that it's more of just a translation synonym.
Right?
But it's kind of fun to think of it that way.
Yes. But we all know Mr. Morrison isn't going to change his mind, except for the fact that depending on if there's lightning or not, your principal will come outside and be like, what the hell?
Yeah, be like, excuse me, this is actually a risk.
Hi, what Ben, who happens to be in the same class as me today, gives me his hat.
I suddenly just want to see Ben just soaking wet. Like, he just appears and it's totally like a beefcake, ridiculous shot.
Right?
Like his shirt just plastered to him, not wearing his, over jacket and whatever. And you're like, oh, here is the fan service.
Look, I found the wet t-shirt contest. Yes.
He has won. And then you're like, whatever else is going on in this game, they definitely went, we drew hot boys and we are going to show them off.
Why not? I don't want you to get sick. I blush and murmur a reply. But thank you, Ben. And once again, I see Jillian staring right at me.
And it turns into Nekojishi. You have 4 people trailing after you, giving you all of their, 3 people giving you all of their attention. It's so rude of you not to pick one.
You stares off into an abyss. I already told them to leave me alone.
I have asked every one of them not to be involved with me at all, and 2 of them have told me not to answer and don't say that. And the other one I just told, please get away from me. And we haven't even tried to anything else. Oh my god.
Well, her hatred burns brightly in her eyes. Before I can ask Ben if he knows anything about her, Mr. Morrison tells us to stop moving.
I stop moving to give you my hat and look at you because you're adorable.
All right.
You stop moving to receive the hat and go, oh,
I'm adorable.
thank you.
Right?
I have you're looking at me with that look that doesn't seem as threatening.
Right?
It is more like the nice look.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody groans, but nobody dares to complain further. After my second lap, the rain gets even heavier. Kayla, who runs beside me, keeps bad-mouthing Mr. Morrison for making us run in the
Just
rain.
imagining her just clomping along, splashing through puddles. God damn that motherfucker! Bleep, 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 bleep. I just hate his goddamn
His ugly-ass feet.
I just go, he is a broken toothpick. He is a soggy napkin. That man is a rotten pea pod.
Well, you know what?
I cannot believe how much of like a moldy t-shirt he is.
He is a crumbling zipper.
That man is a poorly laced shoe, I'll tell you what.
Wow, Kayla.
Cross lace. You know how you cross button? He's a crossed button shirt. That's what he is.
All of them. Every single one.
Every button. He's a broken zipper. Oh, you know what he is? Absolutely. He is a used Q-tip. Just excited about these things. I've just got to badmouth him all the way on the track. If I get sick, I'm blaming him.
I laugh because we have no choice but to carry on, despite hating the situation.
And again, they're building in that in all of Byrne's life. Okay, so thematic things here. They are building in again that all of Byrne's life is decided for her, that she doesn't have any agency at all, even in mundane things.
Right.
So they're building into that theme that they've shown in reference to her dad, where she's subject to his whims of who he's dating, whether he's leaving or he's there or not, whether or not he's present and listening to her, and she's subject to other men's whims, whether they're asking her dad for permission to have access to her, telling her she's going to do things, literally grabbing her hand and dragging her into things, that kind of thing, that in her life, and that she can't control the music of her neighbor. This is a complete narrative that no matter how much she tries to be assertive, no matter how much she tries to choose her own way, she is inevitably and completely subject to her environment.
Right.
And like, if this were a person directing a movie, like, they're like, I've layered this theme absolutely everywhere throughout the story, so you know what you're experiencing.
You have no choices.
And so that you get this really strong experience of like basically being boxed in and sort of directed or trapped as your main character. All right.
Read it.
Wait, sorry. I'll run faster, so if I get really sick, He'll get into trouble.
You can read it. I enjoy your run.
Bye!
Her booking it around you. I'm just jogging. It's fine. I don't feel like running faster than my current tempo. I see Jillian running towards me, and suddenly,
She's gonna shove you down.
Splat!
Yep, into the water.
ouch! I fall into a puddle beside the running track. Jillian doesn't even look back and keeps on running. Ben comes to help me get up.
He was running behind you to keep an eye on you, but he wasn't close when you needed him.
Right, I wasn't there.
Mhm.
Are you okay? Yes, I am. Did Jillian push me on purpose?
That's a premium choice?
What?
I mean, you're in public. But I was like, assume it was just an accident.
That is, I mean...
That's also a weird sort of like way to put it, because it'd be like, yeah, it seemed like Jillian pushed me. Where you're not asking anything, you're just kind of describing your experience, being a little bit overwhelmed.
I'm also just like, you assume it was an accident and you don't go, Jillian pushed me is the premium scene. Like, I don't understand does that make sense? Usually it's here's this option and then here's its inverse, you know, or where it's reverse, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. One of them doesn't directly contrast the other.
But I would ask Ben if he knows anything about Jillian. Like,
if that's the option, because we are trying to learn more about Jillian, and Kayla's like, I don't know anything.
Right.
So if we're going to talk to Ben at all, especially if he's going to help us up, we could run alongside him and be like, do you know anything about Jillian?
Sure, so let's ask Ben.
It seems reasonable. Hold on, it needs to think.
No,
It takes more work to load the premium scenes.
Did someone do this to you? Yes.
Yes?
What?
Hi.
I guess Jillian pushed me over? Jillian? Yeah, she's been acting weird towards me since this morning.
This is Ask About Jillian. That's so, like, that button that made so little sense in comparison to what's just happened here, where he actually asks you what happened, basically.
Right? Well, since a few days ago, when I met her at the shopping mall. I didn't even know that you and Jillian talked. What happened at the shopping mall? Well, you know, Jillian used to be the most popular fashion blogger.
And it was her entire identity as a person, I'm suspecting.
As we have this conversation, by the way, you guys, out in the pouring rain.
And also, we haven't, like, stood up, like he's helped me up, like helped Bron up, maybe.
Right.
But, like, also, if Mr. Morrison's being super gripey about everything, you would have needed to start moving again, I assume. But it'd be nice to say that, otherwise I get, like, me as a player, I tend to get anxiety and going, are you running yet? Are you going to be interrupted? Have you started moving again?
Yeah.
Are people going to stop by you and go, what are you doing? You're going to get us all in trouble?
The teacher going, what are you doing? Like, you almost instantly hear with
moving!
Yeah. Yeah, and you took over this wrong. She asked for my opinion about the clothes that she was wearing that day. She was going on a date, and I just spoke my mind, saying that the clothes didn't suit her, because I wanted her to look good when she met her date. Wow! That is, like, socially awkward. Whoa.
That is also socially awkward going, not because I wanted her to look better, but I wanted her to look good at all, suggesting she looked atrocious.
I thought it was cute. Like,
I thought it was cute too, and sure, she could have worn something that was more flattering or made her, you know, her color combination pop a little bit more. On the other hand, sometimes you're not trying to be really dramatic. You're just trying to be, you know, casual and cute.
Right?
So there's different modes too. One of the things I think a lot of people forget about when they're judging other people's fashion, and I say judging just in literal, like, you know, just looking at it and giving an opinion, reviewing it, if you will, is that you should know what the person's going for.
Right.
Because there's going to be a level of what they've done versus what they're going for. And if they say, what do you think of this outfit? And you go, wow, looks really frumpy and baggy. And you go, okay, but does it look comfortable, like cuddly? And you can go, oh yeah, it looks super cuddly now that I'm thinking about it that way, but it doesn't make you look hot.
Right.
That's fine. I want to look cuddly. I want to look like you should scoop me up and hold me in your arms. That is what I was going for.
Hey, I got it. Yeah, there is always that thing, and I've actually always strongly disliked the trope of the transformation, the ugly transformation of the girl into something more conventionally attractive.
I know that your fashion choices are bad, and my fashion choices for you will be good.
Right, and then also, like, you just completely seem to lose who the character was. They just suddenly go, it doesn't matter. Plus, also, like, okay, where I've normally seen it, I'm also just like, those are not, like, unconventionally attractive women that you are adjusting.
Yeah.
Like, they are just women who seemed, like, where we tried to make them look awkward or bad, air quotes, but only kind of. And it sort of gets embarrassing and frustrating when you look at, I don't know, it never works for me. Because I wanted to look good when she met her date. But it was true. I believe you, Ben. Maybe she was taken a bit back by your honesty. I guess so. But she asked for it. I know, Ben. And what happens this morning then? Alex showed up out of the blue and asked me out.
That's a nice way of putting you will join me and your plans will change.
Wow, that is like, I'm trying not to start a fight here.
I say, on the other hand, that is a way to say it because it sounds like you're being dramatic. Okay, and I've been exposed to this too, of going well, they told me I'm going to go on a date with him. And then people go, you sound like you're trying to demand that I react to this. You sound like you're being dramatic. Unless you build up and carefully explain the entire thing and go, oh, well, it was, and then you slowly prepare for it. Because if you go, oh, he demanded a date with me. And people go, demanded? That's kind of a strong word.
That sounds unreasonable, unrealistic, and Jillian glared at me the whole time. Ben scoffs in disbelief. Alex showed up in front of Jillian? Yes, is that bad? Well, Jillian is Alex's girlfriend. She's still madly in love with Alex, even though they broke up a year ago. But you know what? We're going to have to find out more about that in the next one. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, please feel free to check out my Ko-fi and my Patreon.
And also, check out Ben's Fans Only.
Right? There are some links in the description down below. And I have been Scandal.
You know what? I'm just waiting for someone to set up like their fictional OCs Fans Only, and then it's basically your
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans, that one, and then you're just basically paying for erotic art of their character as a subscription. That'd be kind of cute.
I actually have heard some people talking about that their kind of plan was to use sort of OnlyFans as for like sexy selfies or like for erotic art.
I say, all right, and I have been Liz, and it was great playing with you. Bye!